You are listening to the Sinister DreamCast Network.
Welcome to Sinister DreamCast.
Hello and welcome to Sinister DreamCast. I am Nick Kizina.
I'm Justin Pappalardo.
I'm Julianna Hawk.
Well, I thought you were going to be way more somber, Jules. Really did. I thought it was going to be like I am Julianna Hawk.
I do try.
I know, but I've listened back to a lot of the episodes, and sometimes it doesn't happen.
Try to be somber.
No, I try not to be.
Yeah.
I try to be a functional human being. It just doesn't always go very well.
So how you guys doing?
I had a pretty big weekend. Pretty eventful weekend.
What'd you do?
Went to, we did the work Christmas party. Went to the Grand Concourse. Got some fish.
The Grand Concourse?
The Grand Concourse,
Okay.
yes.
Sound like you said growing
Grand, no.
The growing concourse.
The growing concourse.
Something different.
I don't know what that is, but no, that's not where we went. The Grand Concourse, which apparently is like primarily a seafood spot.
I thought it was continental and seafood.
That's what I thought. Like, it is, but like it's like primarily a seafood restaurant. It was good. It wasn't. I'll tell you what. For how expensive and how like classy that place is, it's not like that great. Like, it's not super fantastic. It's the food's good, but like, I don't know. It was good though. And then went to the Improv to go see Owen Benjamin with the show was emceed by a local comic named Ray Zawatny, who's really funny, and opener was Sean Collier, who's fun to watch. And then I saw the Steelers won, and then I saw Rogue One. And I want to talk about it, but not really, because I don't know that I could talk about it without spoiling anything.
It's impossible to talk about it without
Is,
spoilers.
though.
I will say that up until about halfway through the movie, I was like, you know what? Like, there's nothing even to spoil. Like, I could tell you, because I would just be explaining the plot. It wouldn't spoil anything. And then, like, things happen to people, and I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
It's a very plot-driven movie, which is something that we're not super used to as Star Wars fans. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Like, Attack of the Clones is a very plot-driven movie, which is one of the reasons why it's so shitty.
I did get really attached to the characters, though.
I didn't. I didn't really feel much for any of them. I mean, I liked K2. K2 was fun. But I didn't really, like, get attached to the characters all that much.
I loved them so much.
I liked Jin's interaction with her father. That was good. That was heart-wrenching. But I think that had more to do with her father than more so than with Jin.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't dislike any of the characters. I don't want anyone to think that I didn't like the characters. But, yeah, it was...
Yeah. I liked it quite a bit. I don't know yet where I would put it on my list of Star Wars flicks.
I don't even know if I want to throw it in with the sagas, to be honest with you, because they're trying to do... Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm just like, I don't want to compare it to anything, because the sagas are trying to do something very specific, and the anthology movies are trying to do something very specific. So I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, I mean, the saga movies are about the Skywalkers.
Yeah.
The anthology movies are going to be, one-shots or their own thing. Which I don't even know if they're planning on doing franchises with the anthology movies,
yeah.
to be 100% honest with you.
I'm sure they will for the Han Solo.
I don't know.
Actually, that's kind of stretching it, I feel like.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I feel like they probably won't.
Yeah.
I like, now that I think about it, like, I think they'd kind of be stretching it. I did hear, I don't know if this is, like, a real thing, but, like, I kept seeing on the internets that, it's like, oh, they're talking about, Donald Glover playing Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
That's confirmed.
That's confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isn't
That's
that
good.
awesome?
That's amazing. He was great in The Martian. He's funny.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked him in Community.
Yeah.
I just really like him. Do you listen to Childish Gambino, too?
Yeah, sometimes,
I feel like you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such an awesome name, too.
Do you know how he got that name?
Yeah. You plug it into
Wu-Tang name
Wu-Tang name generator. Which I did the same thing. And I didn't really like mine too much, so I tried it again like a couple weeks later and got the same name. It's like, fuck.
Nice.
What name did you get?
Curly-haired slacker.
Yeah, it's shitty.
Which, but totally makes sense, because my hair gets curly when I grow it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, I do like to take shortcuts. So, curly-haired slacker. I was like, that makes so much sense, but it doesn't even sound cool.
No, it really doesn't.
Not at all. That's why I don't claim it. I wish my name was Childish Gambino. That's a fucking awesome name.
I'll take your word on that.
Yeah. No, you don't think so?
I mean, I don't really care either way, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't really have any thoughts on it. So
It works for him.
That's fair. Can I tell you guys about the stream I had last night?
no.
Okay, so check it out. So
we're doing this.
it should have been like a scary dream, like a nightmare, but it wasn't, because I don't know. So it was a zombie apocalypse, naturally, like you do. And me and the group I was with worked out a plan. We were gonna get a whole bunch of bodies and put them in a room. That was like our security. But also we had 2 people kind of dispatched to guard that room.
Live or dead?
They were alive, but
Okay.
the people in the room were dead, and they hadn't turned yet, but we knew they were going to turn. And the rest of the group, myself included, was downstairs in my kitchen, because that is a thing that happened. And I was like, I'll bet you they're going to turn, and they're going to infect the other 2 people we have guarding, and they're going to come down here, and they're going to want to eat our faces off. And they're like, nah. I'm like, I'm just telling you guys. Sure enough, they come down to eat my face. And I grabbed a steak knife, and I started killing zombies. And everyone's like it's a super inconvenience to lift a finger to make sure they don't get eaten. I was like, what are you guys doing? They're like, they'll go away. Don't bother them, they won't bother you. I'm like, they're trying to eat me. So I was just killing zombies, and everyone else in my group was like, nah. I had to get that out. Those are the kinds of dreams that I have. That's the shit that happens in my dreams.
It's a microcosm of your life, Justin.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of that word.
Microcosm?
Yeah, I like it.
I don't hear you use it very often.
No, I really don't, but I like it.
How are you, Jules?
Here.
I didn't ask if you were present. I asked how you were doing. No, it was because in school you call for roll call.
Yeah.
You say here. That was...
I would always say present, because most of the time I wasn't really there.
Okay. We don't have to get existential, but...
Mm-hmm.
So how are you doing?
Present.
Okay. Good talk, everyone. That was
All
a
right.
real...
We'll see you guys next week. This has been Sinister DreamCast. See you next week.
You forgot the name of the goddamn show, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I said Sinister DreamCast.
You said Sinister Dream ellipsis cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just...
Like Splinter and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. Coming to a conclusion.
There's no way that wasn't intentional.
It had to be. Either that, or they couldn't figure out they couldn't get it cut any other way. They didn't have footage or something like that, and that was the only way it could happen. That's the only other explanation for it, because sometimes that happens where it's the pacing just works out that way. Maybe they didn't have any footage of Splinter saying coming, the puppet actually mouthing coming, so that might be the reason why. Because it's a puppet, so that happens.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Yeah.
I hear ya. Yeah. So, I'm going to tell you guys that I'm thinking about becoming a console gamer.
I saw your status.
Yeah. People are hating on the Xbox One.
I have no opinion on it. I haven't used it, so.
Everyone's hating. The only person that was oh, totally Xbox One, I don't care about his opinions anyways.
Uh-huh.
I've honestly heard pretty much nothing across the board about the Xbox One. Anybody I know who plays video games play for the who actually has been keeping up. They either have PS4s or PCs.
Yeah, that's the thing, and everyone's like PS4, and the
Yeah.
only guy that says Xbox One, I don't like him anyways.
I mean, whenever
I
I
don't
finally
respect
get a
his
new gen
opinions.
console, I'm gonna get an Xbox One, because
Yeah.
Xbox is what I'm used to. I really like the feel of the Xbox One controller in my hand. It feels very nice. I feel like it's gonna be way easier on my carpal tunnel
Yeah.
than my not so great fine motor skills.
That's a
than the Xbox
legitimate
360.
reason. That's a legitimate reason to purchase that, yes.
And I am still salty about Kesha, so I don't want to give Sony any more money than I have to.
Yeah, I'm not a ginormous fan of Sony in general.
That makes sense. See, why you guys have to like bring stuff like that up?
I've been anti-Sony since PS3 because like they were the ones that charged like $900 and they're like people will buy it. They'll pay for it for anything that we tell them they're going to pay for it, and then they never sold. And the guy who created the PlayStation, who was like the head of gaming at Sony, got fucking fired because they sold so poorly.
Also, they're being massive dicks about it, and it's really dumb, and I really wish they'd get their heads out of their asses, but the Xbox One has begun integrating backwards compatibility, and I believe that the PS4 is just flat out not doing that. So if you do want to play a game that came out before the Xbox One or the PS4 and is only available for, 360 or PS3, you can't.
Yeah.
And like I said, like the way that Xbox is doing it, like the way Microsoft doing it is really, really dumb. Like some games are backwards compatible. They're rolling them in very slowly. You can vote on games you'd like to see be backwards compatible. It's a mess. But like I'm pretty sure PS4 is just flat out not backwards compatible. So at least there's hope with the Xbox One. So then, and you have a 360, right?
I do.
So, like, there's at least a chance you could take your games over, and then, like,
well,
that's also what you're used to.
I also acquired a PS3. But that was really for the Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Also, I mean, and that's also a non-issue if that's part of your pros and cons list, because the Xbox One is also a Blu-ray player.
Yeah. Because I was thinking Xbox One, more specifically the One S, just because, why not?
Because it costs more.
Yeah, I know, I'm a dick. I'm an asshole. Like, I don't even have money. That's the thing. Like, I can buy food and pay my bills, but like I don't have like $300 to just blow on a Tuesday.
You could try to kill two birds with one stone, because if you buy Frosted Flakes, they're giving away Xbox Ones.
Nice, I do like Frosted Flakes.
So you could try that route also.
Although I have been eating Aldi's generic brand Crunch Berries.
Uh-huh.
Not the same, but
There are certain cereals that do not transition. Like the generics don't work. I have not found a good substitute for Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'll agree with you there.
And there was another one. Oh, not Lucky Charms. Shit, I can't remember what it is now. But there's another cereal where it's like, no, like this doesn't work.
I hear ya. Yeah, but like my biggest thing with the PS4 versus the Xbox One is that I've heard nothing but amazing things about the Uncharted series and The Last of Us. I heard The Last of Us. The
Last of Us is only for PlayStation?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Oh, because I also want to play that.
That's what I hear, and that I hear that those are just amazing. And then also Naughty Dog is gonna remaster Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
And like I want to play Crash Bandicoot and drink Surge.
Nice.
Like that's what I want to do. Like honestly, like I said, I made the joke that there's an excellent chance that I would just buy a $250 Crash Bandicoot machine.
And my mom's been bugging me about what I want for my birthday, and I was just like, aside from an Xbox, she's like, can't get one of those for $25, can I? I'm like, if you could, I'd fucking have one.
Hell yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to get anybody for Christmas. I got Ashley covered, and my mom, part of my mom's gift covered. And my brothers, like, they're pretty easy to buy for, but just haven't done that yet.
Last of Us is only on PS, on PlayStation.
Oh, that sucks, because I was planning to play that.
Yeah.
Womp womp.
I don't know.
You know, it's on both. Borderlands. I just wanted to be a bit of a dick. But,
I did see the Dragon Age is on both.
Yeah.
That's something I was interested in.
Yeah, I think Naughty Dog has an exclusive contract with Sony. That's probably why.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Well, they lost a lot of their exclusivity also with the PS3. They pissed off a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because, like, the PS2 was, like, one of the greatest consoles and, like, all that kind of stuff. Like, people were like, yeah!
Mm-hmm.
And then they got too big for their britches and they lost a lot of their exclusivity. That was the reason why they were really riding on God of War for a while.
Yeah.
because that was like their only exclusive title for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know they still have. Yeah, like again, I knew Uncharted was exclusive, and then I'm pretty sure that like basically everything Hideo Kojima's doing right now is exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah. I don't know, so we'll see. I might not even buy one. Like, I might just end up just, like, not... Because I've been saying that I was going to buy a TV for, like, almost a year now, and I just haven't yet.
Also, have you seen the fucking trailers for Death Stranding? What the fuck is this game?
No.
Yeah, I don't know what you're
Never heard
talking
of
about
it.
either.
Oh god, it's like it's got Norman Reedus in it. It's got Guillermo del Toro in it. And then the guy who played Hannibal, I can't think of his name. And like, if you watch the trailers, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know what this game is about at all. And from what I've seen in interviews, neither do any of the three of those people, and they were in it.
Yeah.
It makes, like, I don't understand at all. I can't even try to describe this. Like, just like YouTube a trailer for Death Stranding, because I don't know what the fuck I'm watching.
Yeah. Huh. Well. I will do that. Yeah, I don't know. Like, that's a thing, like I can't say that I'm like a super pro Sony. Like, I totally love what they're doing, but like that's where I'm leaning now, I think.
Yeah, I'm still just adamantly upset at them for Kesha. I don't know if they will ever be forgiven for that.
Oh no, like I get that, and like that's the thing. Like that's how I feel about pretty much everything. Like Sony and Chick-fil-A and Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Nestle.
I mean? Nestle. I don't even know.
Oh, they're evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Chick-fil-A, like, I fully support gay rights, and I think it's really shitty if you don't, but, like, I also kind of really want a chicken sandwich right now.
See, I've never eaten at a Chick-fil-A, and then, you know, there was a bit there where it's like, well, now I'm never going to because of that whole thing, and then, like, they backtracked on it, and I'm still never going to because I don't really care that they backtracked on it. It's like, I feel like the damage is done, and I still know who my money's going to.
Or Walmart.
And I'd rather,
I mean,
it's like, yes, it's capitalism. We're all consumers. We have to give our money somewhere. So I would rather spend my money somewhere where I don't know that it's being run by dickheads. You know?
Yeah. And like in Walmart, like, sometimes Target doesn't have what you're looking for. And you just gotta go to Walmart.
I'm surprised.
Nope.
I'm surprised, like, you're allowed to say Walmart with your father being so pro-union.
Yeah, I don't know if I wouldn't say he's super... Oh, okay. He's obviously pro-union because he's in a union, but, like, I think it's more like... I don't know, he doesn't, like... I don't want to say he doesn't have an ethos, but, like, he's not really hard to get along with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's more like, yeah, you know, it's cool. People need, you know, wages and stuff. I don't know. It's cool. Like, that's like, he's super chill about it. Like, yeah, like his, you know, he's been, you know, a union worker for, Christ, the better part of 25 years at this point. What's up, Kat? What's going on? It's been a union work, and, like, that's, you know, how we were able to have a house and food and clothes and stuff. So, like, I can't say that I'm not pro-union. And so, that's like him. He's like, yeah, you know, whatever. He doesn't really get too... I don't really know what his opinions are on things. He doesn't really share his opinions on things. He's like Aaron Burr.
Sir.
I'm just kidding. He's not like Aaron Burr. I just try to squeeze it. I just try to shoehorn in Hamilton references now.
Good.
That's like my thing.
Good.
So you're being obnoxious.
I am. I fucking love it, though. Like,
it's so good!
And then, have you heard the Hamilton mixtape?
No.
I haven't yet.
Fire tracks. Oh my god.
I want to check it out. I just haven't yet.
Yeah. Fucking Queen Latifah is on it. I haven't heard anything from her since Ladies First. Back in the 90s. Just fire tracks.
Yeah, there's an interesting assortment of people on it. That's
Watsky's on it.
Oh yeah.
And he does. I think it's like a remix, almost to like the Cabinet Battle. And he's just like, "Sit down, John, you fat motherfucker." But it's Watsky and it's funny. So yeah, I mean, I can't even fucking... Like, I don't know, like... I can't even, like, explain it. Like, it's so good.
This mixtape was fire, though.
The mixtape was fire, but, like, Hamilton. Like, Hamilton itself. Like, if you haven't listened to it yet, do so. It's so fucking good. Jesus Christ, what are you doing with yourself?
3 weeks ago, you're like, yeah, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Because I hadn't heard it yet. And I sound like an asshole, and I know, and I hate when people do that. I hate when people, like... I hate people that get into something, like, super late, and then all of a sudden are all about that thing, like I do with everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, sometimes it just happens.
Like,
you can't help it.
That's how I was with Harry Potter. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then, like, there was a moment when I really got into it, and I was like, fuck yeah. And that's how I am with Hamilton. I hadn't heard it yet, so I was like, I hear good things. I'll give it a shot. And I was like, yeah, I kind of made myself listen to it because I was like, I just gotta do it. So I put it on. And I was like, wow.
I mean, if it's gonna have that kind of impact, it doesn't matter when you get into it. It's still gonna have that kind of impact.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, hey, welcome to the club. I'm glad you're here. Let's talk about this thing.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I disagree. There's a window. If you miss that window, you're an asshole.
I agree. That's the thing. I agree with you.
I don't actually agree. I just felt being contrarian.
But that's how I feel. I am a walking paradox, I guess.
Justin.
Huh.
Welcome to the club. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like,
it wasn't
better
even supposed
late
to be.
than never.
It wasn't
Just
even
so-
supposed to be a musical.
yeah.
It was originally going to be a concept album.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what Lin-Manuel said. He said he had no intention of making it a musical, but I guess the guy he worked with on In the Heights listened to it, and he's like, we could do this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was supposed to be a concept album. Like, at the very least, he was just going to release it as a concept album.
Yeah. Man. Fuck. Like, if you haven't, fucking check that shit out, man. Check that shit out. Like, it came out in April. I get that, but, like...
I think it came out earlier than that, didn't it?
I think it was... I looked it up. I think it was April.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Wait, really? Was it...
Maybe
Wait,
last year.
Like 2015?
No, I thought it was 16.
I feel like it's been around a while.
I think I've been listening to it longer than that.
I
And
don't
I
know.
was late to the party, so...
I don't know. It could have been 15.
I think the problem with Hamilton is that it's really hard to explain it without it sounding hokey.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you
for
just
sure.
sound hokey. Like, you saw John's face whenever I
Yeah.
was explaining to him. He was just kind of like, okay.
It's a hip opera. It's a hip hop opera about Alexander Hamilton. And that's the thing. At first, you're like, well, who the fuck cares about Alexander Hamilton? Everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody who's listened to Hamilton.
It moved to Broadway in August of 2015. It made its off-Broadway debut in February of 2015.
So I was wrong on both accounts.
You're a wee bit off.
I was
Well,
way
you can
off.
go on YouTube and watch the Hamilton documentary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's PBS put it up there for free, like the
Nice.
whole thing. So it's you're not pirating it. It's not someone shitty like copy of it. It's like no, PBS put it up on YouTube for people to watch.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we watched it on there. They had W on there.
Yeah.
They interviewed as many living presidents as they could, and they had W, and it's just
Yeah.
like, God, you were so that uncle that just gave you your first underage beer. Like that's George W. Bush. It's like nice guy, but never should have been in charge of anything ever.
Yeah.
He should have been like he should not be in charge of his life. Like he's that guy that marries well and the woman runs everything. Like that's George W.
Yeah.
Bush.
Yeah. I fucking like people have a lot of animosity towards Bush, but like the Little Bush animated series, he's he's so endearing if you look at him as like he's a child. Like
Yeah.
it's like, oh,
Yeah, except
little George.
that a lot of people died.
Yeah. Because 9/11 was an inside job.
Well, actually, you know what he does now? He now paints portraits of people that he it's either veterans that were injured during the wars that he started or veterans that died. Like that's
Really?
what he does with his time now.
Paints
Yeah,
that's that's something.
it's like a weird like Greek tragedy kind of penance,
Yeah.
where like
That's
he's
something.
spending the rest of his life painting the portraits of the people he sent into battle.
That's something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know, but and I was thinking today, because somebody said the word, used the phrase "push the button." I know you did earlier, but like earlier today, someone said "push the button" or "push a button," and I thought of the song "Capital G" by 9 Inch Nails.
I haven't listened to that album very much.
But and I was wondering, are they gonna is Trent Reznor gonna redo it and say capital D? Because he totally could know, or capital T, either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would work.
Green Day at the Grammys started the no Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA.
Yeah.
Which that was like that got a mixed reaction in the crowd. Yeah, I can't remember. I think it was CBS was broadcasting it. They were like, "Shit."
Yeah, that's been my favorite chant thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So in the protests of the Bush administration, it was ExxonMobil, BP, Shell, take your war and go to hell. That was always the one you heard. It looks like this time it's going to be that one.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm so curious as to what is actually going to happen, like in the future, and it's like probably not going to be great.
Well, based off of what happened last night, might not be the USA doing shit. So, do you guys know what happened?
What happened?
Oh, the fucking Russian ambassador to Turkey was shot like in front of people on camera at an art gallery.
I did hear
by
about
a Turkish police officer.
Yeah.
Like you can see the video, like the video's going around online because he shot him in the back.
Yeah.
Like he's in the middle of talking, and then his face just like drops, and he just hits the ground, and then it cuts to the guy like shouting.
Russian ambassador to Turkey.
Yeah. Well, right now WW3 is now trending on Twitter, and Franz Ferdinand.
Yeah, that's
Not the band.
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, that's where it starts.
I do still kind of find it funny though that a lot of the liberals are like upset that the Electoral College voted exactly like we fucking knew they were going to. Like, why did they get their hopes up?
Yeah, and everybody that was saying, oh, there's still a chance. There's still a chance for Bernie. Like, no, there's not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There's one Facebook group I'm in that's just called Sounds Liberal But Okay.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just like my looking at everything like that. Like, sounds liberal but okay.
There's still a chance for, there's not a chance for Bernie. I'm sorry.
No, not right now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bernie is absolutely wholeheartedly the one that got away. He was... I'm so sad, but I knew I knew that the Electoral College wasn't going to change their minds.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense because then it destabilizes the democracy if they do so.
Yeah.
So, but then, I know. Then you can get into the whole Russia thing. So, I know it's one of those lesser of two evils. This entire election, it's the lesser of two evils.
I mean, though, how does the Electoral College in and of itself not destabilize the democracy? Because it's making some votes worth more than other votes.
Because we're a democracy, but we're not a direct democracy. Direct democracy doesn't really work on a large scale. We're a republic, to be specific. We're technically not a democracy. We're a republic.
I feel the same way about it that John Oliver does. It's like I don't know if it's possible to explain it to me where I will understand why there is any reason on earth where one vote should be worth one vote.
Because the founding fathers did not trust the common man.
Which is probably,
but the Electoral College has screwed us over in terms of that twice now. In our lifetime, so
right. But the founding fathers wouldn't know 250 years in the future. I don't also think the founding fathers ever intended us to have 50 states, and
I also don't know the details. But wasn't the Electoral College also originally intended to protect slave owners?
No, because the three-fifths compromise didn't come in until the 1800s.
Yeah.
I don't think that was exactly the reason. I think it also had I'm not exactly sure. I mean, I'm a history nerd. I'm not a history expert. But I know that's the reason why the Electoral College exists, because they did not believe that the common man was educated enough at the time to be able to vote for the president directly.
Which, like, that, I guess, would make sense. Like, you figure the common man was, farming, and just all they knew was farming and selling the things that they farmed. You know what I mean? And there wasn't an overabundance of information just readily available to everyone. So, like, I can see that. Like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it
on
too.
Some level.
I understand it, but it's. I mean, that's just how like democracies are. It takes a long time for shit to change. The likelihood of the Electoral College going out the window is very, very low, but I mean, it would take a whole lot of. It would take a lot to get rid of the Electoral College at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Like,
I mean, also, it might have to do with the fact that in the Constitution and in the Founding Fathers' eyes, the president shouldn't matter that much. So, like, that's something as well. Like, whenever everything was designed, it wasn't like, the president wasn't really supposed to have that much power. Like, if you actually read the Constitution, Article 1 is really fucking long, and Article 1 is about the establishing of the legislative branch and the House of Representatives and the Senate, and Article 2 is the establishment of the executive branch, and it's super fucking short. The only thing that's shorter is Article 3, which is setting up the Supreme Court, or the judicial branch. So, things change. So, that might be the way we could do it, is try to make that argument. If you want to try to get rid of the Electoral College, is make the argument that as it stands in the Constitution, the president has assumed more power than what was established originally in Article 2 of the Constitution.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's certain things, I mean, that's the reason why, as Jim Jeffrey says, yes, you can. It's called an amendment.
Yeah. It's called an amendment.
It's everything is designed in the Constitution to be super slow, to try to avoid bullshit.
Yeah.
Which ends up creating more bullshit. But, again, this was going on 250 years.
You need a thesaurus.
Yeah.
If you know what that is, get a dictionary, work your way forward.
So, that's that.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Try not to think about it. In the grand scheme of things, I'm trying to think about it. I mean, like, honestly, I don't think that this is like, this is terrible to say, because it's terrible that it's like true, but like, I don't think that like as a straight white male, I don't think that like a whole lot's going to change for me, like from my personal situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like that's unfortunate, but like that's, I don't think that's,
I mean,
going to be too much.
But yeah, like I mean, I've already been doing it. Like I used to like try and it's like, I know that like posting my political opinions on Facebook doesn't really change people's minds, but like I feel like we all kind of need to do whatever we can, even more so than before, because like we just can't fucking normalize this. Like, we can't just sit back and go, yeah, this is whatever. Like, this isn't normal, and it shouldn't be normal. And I think normalizing Bush kind of ended up taking effect after a while. And I'm way more scared of this than I was of Bush. And that's just kind of like, and I mean, especially then as, somebody whose life probably won't be affected too much.
Yeah. That
kind of makes it your job to speak out on behalf of those who will.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's a thing. Like I don't know. Like I feel like I encounter the same argument all the time. Like not so much on Facebook, but like the same argument all the time, and that is, why we should be afraid of Muslims, essentially. Like, you're fucking stupid. Like, stop it. You're fucking dumb.
Because they call God Allah. That's why.
Like you're fucking dumb.
Well, white people can't be terrorists, obviously. Timothy McVeigh, brush him, behind a carpet or something.
Well, he was just emotionally troubled.
Yeah, whenever it's somebody who's white, it's always like, oh, they were such a nice kid, or we're just gonna drum up some kind of reason for this, and we're never gonna use the right terminology.
Yeah, and then he said he said the word ISIS 3.5 hours before he committed his crime. He's a terrorist because
he was referring to the Egyptian goddess, but
he was referring to his favorite scene, referencing his favorite scene in the first season of Archer.
Yeah. If it's a Muslim, he's a terrorist. If it's a black man, he's a thug. And if it's a white man, then he's, some lone lunatic with, further language to throw mentally ill people under the bus, whether it's relevant or not.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Things bum me out, man. Like, I was talking about that before, but things really bum me out. I don't know. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, I kind of want to, be in a situation where, like I read this thing that was like, I think it was an Eagles game, and there was a Muslim man at this Eagles game, and he was at the game because he's a fan, but it was also, it was time to pray, so he, lays his rug out, gets down like in the aisles or whatever, and starts to pray. Oof. And this guy comes up to him, and he stands there, and he's like, just so you know, like, I'm going to stand here so people don't bother you while you do this.
That's awesome.
Like, I'll make sure that people don't bother you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, things like that. And, like, he was a, older, white, like, retired cop guy. You know what I mean? Or, like, the... Cop guy. Or, like, the super old, like, seemingly conservative guy from Texas that was holding the sign that says, like, you belong here. Like that guy.
Yeah.
Who's like, hey, you can be here. You're Muslim. You're allowed to be here. We're cool. I don't know.
The whole call to prayer is the reason why I could never be Muslim.
There's, like, okay, so I would be terrible at any other religion because, like, I'm not that great of a Catholic. Even I don't really, like, and that's, like, pretty simple stuff compared to, like, what is required of you for other religions.
5 times a day for Muslims, one of which being 5 a.m. Like, oh,
yeah. It's like the Jim Gaffigan bit where, if you're Jewish, like, yeah, you observe the Shabbos, you don't do anything on the Shabbos. If, you're Muslim, you pray 5 times a day. If you're Catholic, just eat fish on Fridays. Unless you forget, do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's about right.
That's pretty much it. I would be terrible. Like, I would be terrible at practicing any religion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know, I don't put enough effort into it, I guess.
It's a lot of work. Like I said, like the thing with, like, the Muslim dude at the Eagles game, like, to have this, like, the sense to, like, remember your prayer rug at an Eagles game is pretty impressive. Especially, that alone,
like, getting down on, like, grimy ass floor.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Like the fact that he remembered his prayer rug is just like bravo to that. Like, let alone like finding the time to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not like with, like, a Catholic prayer where you can just, like, like, mumble to yourself, or, you know what I mean? Like, no, it's an involved thing. Like, it's up and down, down. Like, it's involved.
There's a lot to it. There's a lot to it.
Oh, I mean, it's all, like, you'll see that in, like, a lot of Muslim countries, like, at 5 o'clock, it's like there's cars on the side of the road because everyone's observing the prayer time, which is like, oof.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if, like, if you're a Christian and you pray before, every meal, give thanks before every meal that you eat, it's real quick, hands together, 3 seconds, like, hey God, dear God, thanks, bro. Father, Son, Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
Good food, good meat, good God, let's eat.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'd be terrible at that. But
that's the reason why I could never do Wiccan. Because, like, you're supposed to perform a ritual, like, every day. And I'm like, I can't go to church, let alone, like, because I thought about it for a while. And I'm like, I don't go to church. What makes me think that I'm going to perform a fucking circle ritual every day at dusk? Like, it's not going to happen. So, like, there's no point.
Yeah. No, anytime I interact with, especially if I interact with somebody who's dressed in traditional Muslim garb, I try to go out of within the context of what would be necessary for the scenario. I try to go out of my way to be like, hey, not all white people are cunts. I don't know. That's what I feel is like my responsibility because I'm a Gryffindor.
How's it make you a Gryffindor?
It doesn't. That's
gonna
not
say.
at all
Well,
a thing.
the responsibility that comes in is to call other white people out. Like that's where it's the most important thing, is so that it's not always on the, people. It's not always on whatever marginalized group to have to defend themselves and speak up for themselves. It's when you are part of the privileged group and you keep yourself educated on it, then it's your job to call out other members of your privileged group.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always keep an eye out for everyday situations. Like that sounds like I don't know what that sounds like, but like that's how I feel.
Phrasing.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's like what I think about. Like that would be so awesome if I saw this, like, and then I did this. Like if you see something, say something, but like if you see something, do something.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. I don't know. That happened one time to me. When I was
Elaborate.
I was like 16, and this was post 9/11, but a couple years, I guess. I forget what year I was 16. I was in 7th grade when 9/11 happened, so do the math. I don't feel like doing it. And there was a guy who was Indian who worked at the 7-Eleven up the street from this restaurant I was working at, and he stopped into the bar to get a sandwich, have a beer, whatever, and I guess some guy who was just a babbling drunk was bothering him and saying how he wants to see, he wants to see proof of his citizenship or whatever. And so he followed the guy into the bathroom, and the bartender at the time's like, she's like, go in, pretend like you're washing your hands. She's like, and then, see what's going on, and then, then get somebody to do something about it. But like, I didn't want to just leave because I was in there, and I was like, he had him like cornered, and he wouldn't let him go past. He wanted to see proof of his citizenship, and I was like, this guy was like I was like 16 years old, and this guy was like a lot bigger and a lot stronger than me, so I was like scared, but I was like, all right, dude, come on, just don't be an asshole, stop, come on. Like I wasn't really assertive because I was like afraid, but I was like, all right, bro. And then like 2 other guys came in that were like more assertive, and then like it was fine. But I was like, I don't know, at least I'm standing here, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
At least this guy doesn't feel like he's all by himself.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good. He's like, thanks, bro. No, he didn't say that. I was like, you're welcome, bro. So I don't know, things like that. I don't know. If you see somebody being a cunt, just be a cunt right back. It's okay.
Well, it's a Q&A episode.
As I step off my soapbox.
It's a Q&A episode. We're also almost like an hour in, and we still
God.
haven't started, so that's the reason why.
Why didn't you just say fucking stop it? You do every other time.
Yeah.
Because
I
I didn't.
off every other time.
Because I was gonna let you finish, and then that was the reason why I stopped you the way
Phrasing.
I did. That was the reason why I stopped you the way I did. Because if I would have left like 3 more seconds of silence, you would have went on to another topic. So that was the reason why I was right up on that.
I'm surprised you didn't stop me earlier, is what I'm saying.
I didn't realize what time it was. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it's late.
You're getting too old, Jules. It's 9. It's not that late. So we have our questions provided by Mr. Nick Geiger. If you're interested in contributing questions, you can contribute at any time by emailing us at ask@sinisterdream.com. Otherwise, every 3rd Monday of the month we record the Q&A, so you can tweet us around there if you're paying attention to that shit. Or, Facebook. So number 1, what is a fad? Oh, hold on. There we go. What is a fad or trend that you're glad to see is on its way out?
On its way out. 'Cause when I first read it, I thought I read it in the car, and it was like, that is out.
No, it's verbatim.
On
What
its
is a
way
fad
out.
or trend you're
Okay.
glad to see on its way out?
I can't think of anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
not
really know
hip
what's
enough.
on its way out. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not hip enough.
like I don't hear people use the word "bae" as often, so I guess
Yeah.
that's something.
That's pretty cool.
Like that's something, I guess.
My phone's hipper than I am because I tried to write tired and it autocorrected to trill.
Trill.
Yeah, for some reason or another, don't know why, but it did. So my phone's hipper than me.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, again, like I'm not in that stream of pop culture. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm on the nerdy end of pop culture, so like I know what's going on there,
Yeah.
but I don't really know what's going on outside
Yeah.
of my little
I feel
bubble.
you.
I'm in nerd culture and meme culture,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't
know. But one trend that I'm glad is dead is
The Macarena.
yes, and super baggy ass Janko jeans and silver chain necklaces. Because that was like totally me, and then I go back, I was like, I was such an asshole. Why did I do that? Like I wasn't even close to being cool.
None of us were.
No.
true.
No teenager's cool.
Some are. It's just hard to be cool if you're a teenager. Because like you try to be cool, but like you're doing it all wrong, and you don't realize until you're older.
Mm-hmm. So I guess that answers that question because none of us are hip enough. So
Yeah.
we cannot speak from an educated point of view. Okay, number 2. What's something you've learned growing up that turned out to be totally not true?
I was thinking about this one too. I can't really think of.
When I was a little kid, my mother told me that the way that a woman gave birth is that the doctor shrinks down into the woman's stomach and takes it out that way.
That's a really weird thing to tell your
That's
child.
I know.
creepy as fuck.
Like that doesn't like I can see like they come from mommy's belly buttons. Like I can see that.
She said that too, yeah.
Or like the store comes, or
No stork, no.
there's like I can see that being a thing, or like I can see it being a thing you tell your child, or if like you really want to have a laugh, say they come out mommy's poop. Poop. Oh, you said poop. Oh my god. But like, I can see that. But that's kind of weird. How shocked and betrayed did you feel when you found out that's not how it actually is?
I'm not that shocked and betrayed. Like all that shit that people talk about with like Santa Claus and all like the lies that I was gonna say lies, but fibs are better that you tell children. Yeah. I was never shocked or betrayed or felt like I was being lied to because I always understood that I'm just like, oh, it's just they told me this because I was age appropriate for this, and then now I know. Like I just saw it as an incremental part of growing up, so it never really bothered me. I just thought of it kind of like Scientology, that like an age is just like another OT.
Yeah.
And like I reached OT 10, so I now know the sacred truth of this.
Right.
Sort of thing.
You were
so
more
like
self-aware as a child.
yeah.
Than I was more like, I remember when I found out Santa Claus wasn't real, for example. I was in like kindergarten or first grade, and
Well,
like
you were young.
I was really young, but like here's the thing. And everyone was like, some kid was like, well, my big brother told me Santa Claus isn't real. And that became like, and he was like the cool kid in class.
Of course.
So that became like the conspiracy. Like, did you guys hear about this? Like, in fact, they've been lying to us this whole time. So it was more like, I'm going to catch them in the act. Like, I'm going to catch my parents pretending to be Santa Claus and confront them. That was how it was I'm going to catch them in the act. And then I never did because I always fell asleep because I was 6. And you don't stay up late when you're 6. Unless your parents give you Red Bull. Which wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it didn't exist.
Which wasn't a thing back then.
Yeah, no. So like, I was upset when I found that Santa Claus was fake, but that was because the kid that I hated in my class said that he was fake. So I was actually more upset that he was right.
Yeah.
Than that Santa Claus was actually non-existent.
Okay, here's one.
Spoilers: Santa Claus isn't real.
Here's one. My grandma always told me that you always, like, whenever you're in school and you're in lunch, I almost said lunch class, whenever you're in lunch and you're always being secretly graded on how you eat, if you're like messy. Like, she told me that so I wouldn't like eat messily, and she said that like if you want to get a job you have to you have to be neat whenever you eat your food.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, she's like, bosses won't hire you if you eat all messy. And, like, that was, like, a thing that I thought, like, people actually, like, judge you on, like, how you eat, and, like, you can get a job or not pass school if you get sauce on your face. And then I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense at all as I got older. I mean, like, still, like, it's you know, it's good to practice, you know, basic good manners and, you know,
Right.
wipe your mouth and stuff, but no one's gonna, like, not give you a job because of it. Like, they're not just gonna, oh, see that guy over there? He's not getting a job for me. Like, she made it sound like people, like bosses,
Yeah,
just
I
go
gotcha.
undercover
I follow.
and just watch people.
What about you, Jules?
You can't choose your family, and that if you really want to, you'll succeed.
Way to bring the room down, Jules. Thanks.
One of those is positive. But you can't choose your family being a giant fucking lie is a huge positive.
Yeah, but then you undercut it. You should have started with the success and then went with the other one. Then you, like, tempered it. It's like, you know, it's like giving someone a puppy and then, like, after they get attached to the puppy in their hands, you take the puppy and throw it. Like, that's kind of what you did.
That seems a bit of an extreme comparison.
It's an extreme comparison, but it's an apt comparison.
It doesn't feel like it's on the same caliber.
I feel like it is. Honestly, I feel like it is.
I mean, it's true, though. That was force-fed down my throat my whole fucking life, and I really, really wish it hadn't been.
So are you done with life? You're done living?
No, but
So how do you know?
Because there are things that normal people can do that I can't. Like, the amount of hard work that I have to put in to look like I'm not doing anything kinda takes enough out of me.
But you succeed at that.
Yes, but I, you know, was always, you know, force-fed, you know, that, like, if you really want to, you can get this job, you can go to school for this, you know, you can have a, you know, the typical idea of success, like, not you got out of bed today, good job, because nobody gives a fuck about that. But just, you know, as long as you want it hard enough and you work hard enough, you can do it. No, you can't always do it.
Yeah, no, I see. I mean, you can have, anybody can be successful depending on their definition of success.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's different, but, like, everyone's scenario is different. But depending on your personal definition of success, you can be successful. And I don't know. I think there's a lot to the mind. Like, no, like not like
it was just funny the way you said it. That's all.
There's not all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, but, like, it's not that you can just will away any kind of ailment that you have. But there is a lot to be said for state of mind, I think, in a lot of situations. Like, it's not a fix-all. It doesn't always work. And I knew you're going to give me that face. That's actually a less aggressive face than I thought I was going to get from you. and like I said, it doesn't always apply, but there is. I feel like there is. You know, there is something to be said. I mean, even for you, right? If, like, it could be a lot worse. If
Go
you, like,
fuck yourself.
No. Like, I don't know how to make that. Like, you see what I'm trying to do? But, like, I think there is a lot to be said for state of mind. It's not a cure-all. It's not, if you will it deemed, it is no dream. But, like, it's just, there is a lot to be said for that. It doesn't cure all ailments. It doesn't make anything possible, but it can improve. It can improve most. It can improve situations sometimes.
See, though, it's still really hard to hear that and not take it as, so you're not doing enough, you're not trying hard enough.
No, I get that, and that's not what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm not saying that you just need to have it in your mind and then it won't be a problem anymore. You know what I mean? Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's like, it's all in your head. You know what I mean? Like, that's not it, because that's not, sometimes with some people that's the case, but that's not always the case for everybody. And I feel like regardless, there is something that to be said for, the positive effects that it can have. I think. Like, do you see what I'm trying to say?
No, I really don't. Honestly.
I understand what you're saying.
Probably
Joseph.
not. Like I'm not at all saying to you personally, if you just tell yourself that, it doesn't hurt, then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, if you tell yourself that you're good, like, you'll be fine. Like, that's not what I'm saying.
It's good to, like, make fun of yourself in situations like that. Like, is that the kind of thing you're going for? Like how I used to, like, share nihilist memes on a daily basis?
No. Like, I feel like if you can muster up a positive attitude, it does more for you than not having one. Sometimes. Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense in theory.
Like, it's not going to fix everything. It's not going to make everything okay.
But I just, it makes sense in theory, but, like, the practice of it, though, is...
I don't know.
I understand what you're saying.
Like, I think the closest that I have been able to come is just the making fun of yourself thing, because then it goes into, like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Yeah, no, I get that. You know what I mean? And that's some of the best. Everybody knows that some of the best comedy and some of the best art comes from pain. That's the thing. And some of the funniest people are some of the saddest usually. And that's one thing. But I think that there is, if you can muster it, there is something to be said for state of mind, I think.
But then what if you can't?
If you then I'm not. I mean,
if you can't,
I'm
you
not
should
blaming you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like, I'm not, like, if you wake up and you're not feeling it and you can't just tell yourself, okay, I'm totally cool now and it's all good, and, like, if you can't tell yourself that, I'm not faulting you at all. But if you can, you know what I mean,
okay.
you'll be in a better, you'll be in at least a better state of mind than you would be if you didn't. Does that make sense?
Oh, I think I'm following you a little bit better now.
Okay. All right. Because I figured when I said that, I was like, I'm going to have to take
a
a while
lot
to
of
explain
people,
this.
And I didn't think that this was where you were going, but it's just hard to hear because, like, a lot of people do fault you when you can't come up with it. It is totally because you're not doing enough. It's all on you. Like, the automatic assumption is that you're not doing everything you can.
Because sometimes with some people that is the case. Like, there are some people that have had, opportunities handed to them and haven't, done anything about it, and then, blame everybody but themselves for them not being, wherever they want to be. Sometimes with some people that's the case, not with everybody, and I think that's where it comes from. That's where a lot of people think that, oh, if you just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, it's everything's fine. But that's not the case. Like, there are people, like, somebody who grew up in white suburbia, their parents had good jobs. They their parents paid for their tuition, and but they decided to whatever they did, they did to squander their opportunities, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So there is something to be said for, like, there are people that could do with just trying harder, but that's not to say that's everybody, and that's not even to say that you can even tell just by looking at somebody.
Yeah, because
you know what I mean?
Can't.
But there are, like, I know of people who, like, I know that I was like, if you I think that if you would, like, I'll use myself as a perfect example. Like, if I would have applied myself more, like, in any aspect of my life, like, I'd probably be doing pretty well for myself. But, like, I didn't. So, I don't know. Like, I feel like a constant waste of potential sometimes.
But then that's different because it was always, like, if you apply yourself, you can do whatever it is you want to do. Not, you can do stuff as long as, it's still, like, you didn't do the things because you didn't apply yourself. Like, that's...
Yeah. Yeah, like I had, I mean, like me like I had every opportunity to, to do well, and like I just, I was just cool with just coasting, and there are people like that, and and the difference is I don't blame anything or anybody for it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's all I'm saying.
I follow.
Wisdom of Justin.
It was a very long way. I understand.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's that. I hope the next one's a fun one.
All right, number 3. What's the scariest thing you've done that you're grateful you've accomplished?
I was thinking about this one. Riding a roller coaster. Because I used to be deathly afraid of roller coasters I was going to say for no reason, but, like, I know why. Because when I was really young, like, my uncle was like, hey, let's ride this. It's a train. And he totally deceived me, and it was a roller coaster. And it was huge. It was like, it was an Idlewild, and it was like a 450-foot drop. 90 degrees, straight down. That's all.
In your mind, right? Because
Yeah.
Idlewild doesn't have a coaster like that.
Yeah. It was like the one that just goes,
The Rolo coaster, I believe it is.
That one. It's probably like a 15 or 20-foot hill.
If that.
Yeah, but it was, when I tell the story, it was like 300 foot, and it was a straight 90-degree angle, straight down, and I was actually out of my seat a little bit at one point, hanging on actually with one hand, when I was 3. So because of that, I was just like afraid. I didn't even know why. Like there wasn't even anything about it specifically. I wasn't afraid of heights. I wasn't afraid of like what if I fall out. I was just like, I don't know. I was just afraid. I just didn't want to do it. And then I was like, you know what? Fucking just do it. And I did it. And now I love roller coasters. That was like a big thing for me whenever I did it. And I was like, cool. I like roller coasters now.
Roller coasters are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Love them. Fucking love them.
For me, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of little things that like scare. I guess maybe going to college. That was pretty scary. I'm glad I accomplished that though.
Yeah.
Glad I went.
I mean, was it something
my-
that you wouldn't have done though? Something that you like were thinking about not doing?
No, I can't really say that because that was always like the logical progression to me.
Yeah.
So I guess that doesn't particularly count in that situation. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things I just don't know them off the top of my head. That's the problem. I was pretty scared to meet my one friend, Hallie. She was in because we met online, and it was like a 3-hour drive. And it was like the first time I ever took a drive like that by myself. And I kept trying to convince myself not to go.
Yeah.
But then I fucking made myself go. I was pretty happy I accomplished that.
Yeah.
She's a pretty wonderful person, so glad I have her in my life. Because that would have, I feel like that would have been one of those like friendships that would just like tweetered out afterwards if I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
So Jules, you have me to thank for that one also.
I know.
It was joking tone. I was thought you were going to react a little more positively, that's all. Or a little more excitedly. There's the word I was looking for.
Excitedly.
Excited. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that's fair. He's pointing at himself.
I wasn't trying.
Nick is pointing at himself. Justin isn't pointing at himself.
I was trying to cue you without you having to say that I was doing it. I was trying to give you like, oh, I came up with this by myself without any help, sort of help. I was trying to.
I mean, that's fair. I was very, very scared to brave that.
Very.
So.
I feel like there's I think we need a thesaurus to come up with a word more than very.
Getting Stella back, I don't really, want to go too much into the whole thing with that, but there was a period where I was not. She was in somebody else's care, and I was not sure that she was actually going to be released back to me, at least willingly. and that was absolutely fucking terrifying and kept me up at night. And I don't do confrontation, and I'm scared of everything, so it was hard for me to even like take the steps to do anything about it, and I did. So I have my cat.
Yeah. Yeah, usually in most situations, like, if I think that, like, I don't know if I should do this or this is going to be a bad idea, I end up having a pretty good time. Like,
I can't say that. I feel like it's actually pretty 50-50. There's been a lot of times where I'll have bad feelings about something, and then I go through it, and I'm like, well, that was confirmed.
yeah. With the exception of one time, I was hanging out with the drummer of our band at the time. Like, we were hanging out, like, all day, and I guess he texted this girl that he just started dating, and she didn't text him back all day. And he starts, like, as the day goes on, he's, like, freaking out, and he's convinced that there's somebody at her house, like, she's cheating on him already, there's somebody at her house, whatever, and he wanted to go over there, and I was like, no, man, like, I'm not, like, no, like, whatever. He's like, I'm going over there whether you drive me or not. I was like, well, if I go, at least I can, like, you know, be there to be like, all right, dude, like, relax. But, like, I was pretty
They're
worried.
going to build this Death Star without you.
Yeah. No, I was pretty worried that, like, he was going to do something that would get himself arrested. So I was like, fuck. I was like, I'm not even close to wanting to deal with this right now. But okay, like, let's go. Fine. Like, whatever. I was totally ready for it. I was like, this isn't gonna be good. I was worried the whole way. Turns out she just didn't text him back. I don't know, her phone was dead or something. I don't know, but like they had a talk or sex or both. And I was downstairs with her gay roommate watching the Cosmos or the Universe or something, just hanging out. His name was Josh. Everyone called him Joshy. Everyone in her building was gay except for her. She just was surrounded by gay dudes. I'm like, hey, we're gay dudes. I was like, what's up, gay dudes? And he's like, I'm watching the Cosmos. I'm like, cool. He's like, you want to watch this with me? I was like, yeah.
Number 4. What's something that you were awesome at whenever you were younger, but unable to do as well these days? Cartwheels.
Cartwheels.
I was good at cartwheels.
Yeah.
And spinning around. And not getting sick.
Yes, that's a thing.
I was super good at that. Not anymore. I spin around a little bit and I'm like, oh, fuck. I don't know. I've been pretty awesome at everything, so.
There's a lot of things. Like, I think just, like, as far as sports, like, there's, like, I think it just comes back to, like, stamina. Like, I had so much more stamina when I was younger. I could run, and now I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I used to wrestle, and, like, whenever I wrestled, I was never in better shape than I was whenever I wrestled. And I could run all day, and I'd be totally cool. And now, like when we have, like, deck hockey games, I'll run, like, for a shift and a half, and I'm like,
okay, guys, I'm okay.
And I will say this: playing beer league sports as an adult is the biggest difference, I think, than playing the same sport when you're a kid. Is like when you're younger, you want to play, like you get pissed off if you have to sit on the bench. Like when you're older, the bench is the place to be. That's like everyone's just talking shit on each other, like just having some laughs. It's a good time. Being on the bench is a lot of fun.
I was always on the bench.
Whenever you're older. And then when you're young, you're like, oh, this fucking sucks. I don't want to be on the bench. Even though the kid is, like, totally better than you are at the thing, so he's playing. I don't want to be on the bench. And then, like, you get older, and it's like, fuck, like, I need a break, man. Can I come on the bench and just cut up with everybody?
I need a cigarette.
Yeah, there's a guy on our team, like, they because of him, they had to make a rule saying, hey, no smoking on the bench. But he would come off, and he'd have to get his breathing treatment.
What about you, Jules?
Trying to think of answers that aren't depressing. Concerts. I used to be a lot better at concerts when I was younger.
That's valid. I feel the same.
Yeah, like, I used to, like, it was always really hard for me physically. Like, I always had that stuff going on, but, I still, the adrenaline used to get me through. I used to not that used to be like the one place I didn't panic in crowds, and like it still is somewhat an exception to the rule. Like I don't panic as much in concert level crowds as I do at concerts, but it's not as clear cut of an exception as it used to be. And I just used to enjoy it more. Like I still love concerts. I love it so much. There's like just something about that atmosphere that like you can't touch in anything else. But I used to go absolutely out of my way for concerts with no fucks given, no regrets. Like, this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. And now it's like, but like, I gotta get up the next day and...
It's a lot of work. I'm starting to get... I think the Coheed show confirmed to me that I might be too old to be on the floor.
See, I disagree.
I'm definitely too old to be in the pit, and I used to love the pit.
Well, we're saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Floor and pit are the same thing to me.
Oh, see, I was so far back at the Coheed show that I was nowhere near the pit. But I was
see, like, I feel like I get, like, in between, I want to sit down in between acts, like, like that's where I'm at, and, like, I don't like being, you know, smushed in as much as I used to. But that being said, the way that I concert, like the way that I really get into it, is by coughing and really exploring the space. Like it's very like I like to move around a lot, and you can't really do that. And like I want to be where the people are.
I just want to enjoy the show because I like the spectacle, and I can't. And I realize that at the Coheed, because the Coheed does a lot of spectacle with their shit, and not like Kiss level spectacle, but for today's audience, a lot of spectacle. And I want to enjoy, and I enjoy watching the bands perform. And I can't really do that on the floor anymore.
I agree. Like, I definitely get that, and I would love to watch bands perform. But like, the thing is, like, whenever like Coheed's a perfect example. Like, whenever I get into it, like, I want to I feel the music flowing through me, and like, you hear it, and like, you're in that atmosphere, and like, it's like you react. And that's, like, how, like, my body tells me to react. That's how I want to react, is to run into the pit and bounce off of people and jump up and down. And,
there's too many douchebags.
There are a lot of douchebags. And, like, that's something you're going to run into, like, a lot. But, like, less than, like...
I feel like there's more... I don't know. I feel like I ran into less douchebags when I was younger.
I feel the opposite. I feel like when I was younger, I would always go to shows where there was kids that would, like, kind of wait till somebody's back was turned and just truck them, just boom.
I think I just cared less when I was younger. Like, I think the amount of douchebags is probably the same. I'm just noticing it more now because I care more.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've realized over, like, the fact that, like, Jack Off Jill did their, like, very, very brief tour, and I didn't see them, and, like, they're probably never going to do that again, and I didn't go to anything possible. And then PJ Harvey is doing a very limited North American tour that's her biggest tour in a decade, and or you know, this side of the world, and I know I'm not going to be able to go, and I feel like that's pretty telling that I'm missing both of these, like basically once in a lifetime opportunities, because if either of them had come up 10 years ago, I would have sacrificed fucking everything, and I would have been at both of them no matter what it took.
You and me.
You didn't fuck around with concerts.
Why are you gonna be a dick?
That's really not fair.
That's a total Ashley move, man.
No, I wanted to know where she was.
Like, I would not just... It wouldn't have mattered. Like, I would have overdrafted my bank account for Greyhound tickets and slept in the Greyhound station if I had to.
See, like, you think that until you're actually there, and it's like, this is so uncomfortable.
Okay, or you do it... Honestly, I almost wish I'd slept in the fucking Greyhound station for this one. You do it where you get in for the show on the Greyhound, and then you go out on the Greyhound the same night.
Yeah.
That's hell.
Yeah.
Might have been better off, but yeah. I've also slept in Greyhound stations, like, it happens.
Drove to DC one time for a Avenged Sevenfold show. Yeah, I know. And like,
have you listened to The Stage?
No. No, I haven't. I don't care. I don't care anymore. I don't.
They are. I feel like they might be like the alt-right, like, band.
It's
Because
possible.
like they're super like Republican libertarian douchebags,
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I can see that.
and they're also kind of bro-y metal now.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that for sure. I didn't know that Michael Graves was Republican.
Yeah, he started the conservative punk movement.
Yeah.
Like that's like because like you have punk vote or vote
Yeah.
punk. I can't remember what it's called. What Fat Mike does.
Yeah.
And then conservative punk is the response to that.
Yeah. I don't
It
know.
just seems like an oxymoron.
Yeah, I know. I
It's like
think so
punk's all
too.
about just doing whatever the fuck you want, and conservative politics are mostly about trying to take away other people's
Well, no,
rights.
that's not true. Libertarianism is conservatism, and it's about doing whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, it's more like government has no control over.
Yeah.
Like government should not on one aspect is the government should not be able to tell you who you're allowed to marry. The government shouldn't be able to tell you what.
It's more about
you know.
individualism, whereas like the other end of the spectrum is anarchism, which is more about like groupthink.
Libertarianism is just bullshit. Like, it's basically like, I don't know, just we really, really, really love capitalism, and we have our ideas of what the world should be, and we don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
What were you saying before?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's
Avenged Sevenfold DC.
Yeah,
Go.
eventually we went to DC, and like we went like my buddies. It was like an Acura Integra. It's like a small car, and it was. Then we went and we drove and we got a hotel like almost like a little over halfway between point A and B, and we stayed at the hotel. Like we only slept for like 3 or 4 hours, and like got up, checked out, and went. And I was so exhausted, and like sitting in the back seat of that was terrible, awful, and it sucked because like the other kid we went with was like he was a big kid. He was like, I don't know, he was probably 6'2", and he was probably I don't know, he was pretty big. He was a large man, and I felt bad making him sit in the back seat, but he said that he liked it. But like, you can't be comfortable right now, bro. But like, I'm not comfortable either because this back seat sucks. And I was so tired, and I had to get up early the next morning to go into like a work training, and I just overslept by like 3 hours. And I woke up to one voicemail on my phone that was like one of my managers at the time that was like, "Hey, Justin," and she was like kind of a bitch too. I was surprised. She was like, "Hey, Justin, just wondering where you were. We're doing a training, and it's just not the same without you here." Like, fuck, I was supposed to be there 3 hours ago. Shit. And like, I set my alarm and I just slept right through it because I was so exhausted. And like, the experience was fun for the most part. And then, but like, it was like, oh, this fucking sucks right now. Like, waiting for everything to happen was like, fuck. But,
Yeah, it's like just so, like, the days of, like, remember when we were in this city for the show? Like, those days are probably gone now. And I'm not really sure how I feel about that.
I wish I would have done crazier things. Like, I wasn't, like, super cautious, but, like, I wish I would have done more things that were crazy.
It's overrated.
Yeah, I don't know. What if? I play that game with myself all the time. Like, what if I just did this?
I mean, like, on the one hand, like, you get, some fun stories out of it, but then on the other hand, over time, you're the only person that's entertained by them.
Yeah.
So.
For sure, it's like, I feel like, sometimes I think about, like, what if I was just, like, single and just got to just hook up with anybody, just random strangers all the time. I'm like, I did that, and it was, like, cool for a little bit, and then I was like, I'm kind of over this. It's like grass is greener.
Number 5. What's your favorite homemade dish from when you were growing up? Spaghetti and meatballs. Because my grandmother made a really good spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
Very Italian. Very delicious. And then afterwards, the Italian... salad with, like, a special, like, house dressing that she made.
Yeah.
Like a vinaigrette.
Yeah. That sounds good.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. Yeah. My mom didn't like... make too many original things when I was like growing up. She makes now she makes some fucking kick-ass buffalo chicken dip, and she makes some things that are really good. And like anytime she makes like a roast, it's usually really good. But like she never really made a lot whenever we were young. Whenever I was younger, the thing I think her signature dish was a hot dog wrapped in a croissant, and that was pretty good.
Before
Go ahead, because we could just grab that on the way out the door when she was like drive us like baseball practice.
Before Jules answers, let's make this question very short because I feel like we all need to eat, and I don't want to make us even hungrier than we probably are. So just answer it very quickly, Jules, and we'll move on. Just because I know how we'll get about food, and I don't want to make us.
I fucking love food.
I mean, we didn't have like signature dishes or anything like that, but I do remember thinking very fondly of loving the homemade macaroni and cheese, which I do still love to this day, although I don't really make it like just the plain way anymore. I should do that. It's been a long time, but like I kind of modify it now, but like that was always like a staple that is now like very firmly a comfort food for me. And lasagna. I fucking loved lasagna, and I loved my mom's lasagna, and I can't tell you for the life of me now what it tasted like at all. But that was the thing. Sorry.
All right, number 6. What's something you're prone to rant about? And let's keep this one short too.
Let's see. I don't know. See the first half of this podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say you could just say that. Also, Star Wars for me, I'll tend to rant about that because people are because Star Wars is so popular. There's a lot of like normie theories about Star Wars, if you will, which are kind of annoying. Like, you know, the people that are like, "Oh, Finn's obviously Lando Calrissian's son." I'm like, "Oh, shut the fuck up." And then there's the same people who are like, you know, "Oh, no, you're an asshole. He's not Lando Calrissian's son."
Finn is essentially Leia.
Well, yeah, if you go with like ethos, logos, and pathos. No, there's also other people that are like, "You're an asshole. He's not Lando's son. He's Mace Windu's son." Which I'm really, really interesting how people don't just completely disregard time with all these parent theories. Yeah. Just want to go ahead and say that.
Yeah. Well, he's black and they were black. So
exactly. Yeah. Like, that's like, it's like shit like that. Or like, I've got into heated discussions with people about Rogue One that, you know, like, oh, it's going to be so horrible because there's a female lead. Which I'm usually super snarky whenever like the shit like that happens. But meanwhile, this same person was like, "Oh my god, it's the greatest Star Wars movie ever." After he saw it, so
that's like the Force Awakens, like with the exception of Han, like not a white dude on the ship. Like, white. I
was thinking
dudes,
Luke for a second.
Yeah,
but like, well, I guess he wasn't on the ship. Touche.
White dudes weren't at the forefront.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
not of like the 3. No white dudes.
Yeah, the like I said, I don't think there's a terminology for it, but usually whenever you have a trio like that, they represent ethos, pathos, and logos.
Yeah.
I guess Rey would be logos. No, I guess Poe would probably be logos or logic.
Yeah.
And then ethos would probably be. I always get ethos and pathos confused, so I'm not even gonna try now that I'm thinking about it. But
ethos is like ethical. Right? Is that, like ethics, is that
not necessarily, not necessarily in a literary, like as a literary device. But yeah, I'll usually rant about that, about Star Wars. I'll look it up while one of you two answer the question. Also,
I'm just gonna keep it succinct: fandom and social justice.
Yeah, I can see that. Like there was, we went to see when we went to go see Rogue One. Last night, there was, like, a lot of fuckboys. There was, like, fanboys and fuckboys.
I noticed that, too. There's a lot of fuckboys at Star Wars now.
I had, I had a conversation with these two guys before we went in about how, he was a stormtrooper in the 501st. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And, like, okay, like, you are clearly a fanboy. Like, you don't spend, 9 months and thousands of dollars on a stormtrooper's outfit if you're just, like, a casual, oh yeah, I like Star Wars now. Like, you are a fanboy. Like, you, like, back to the movie fanboys, like, did they ever get their head stuck in a bucket pretending to be Darth Vader?
I also don't know why you'd want to wear your 501st uniform to a movie.
Oh, he didn't, but...
Oh, okay, I was going to say, that sounds really uncomfortable.
Because they went to, the premiere at one of the movie theaters, like, as the 501st, you know what I mean? Like, not just, I don't know if they saw the movie or not, but they went, like, as a group to show the you know, take pictures with the kids and stuff. But there was a lot of fuckboys. I was like, get out of here, bros, you don't even Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, that pissed me off. There was also, we got there, like, 2 hours early when we saw Rogue One. We were the first people in the fucking theater. And then we had to move because the motherfucker showed up late. Well, like, can you just move down so we could have 2 seats together? I almost wanted to say, no, get here on time. You two get to sit separate from each other. But, okay, the definitions. Ethos is to appeal to ethics, and this and it is meant of convincing someone of the character or credibility of the pursuer. So I guess that actually might more or less be Poe in the new trio. Pathos is the appeal to emotion. This is the way of convincing the audience of the argument by creating an emotional response. That's probably more Ray. And then logos is appeal to logic and the way of pursuing it for the audience reason. That's more Finn.
I can see it. I can see Ray and Finn either way.
Yeah,
I think an argument can be made either way.
I would go with Finn being more logic because he's running. He does not have any hope, and he does not believe that the Resistance has any kind of chance against the First Order because he's being logical about it.
No, I get that, but then like I agree, and I think that would predominantly that would probably, if pushed, that'd be where I landed. But also, I feel like, you know, Ray as a person is very, you know, methodical and very you know, this is how we need to do things. She's logical about things. I feel
and I actually feel that Finn is more driven by emotion because it's you know, he sees his first battle in this, you know, thing he's been brainwashed his whole life to do, and he snaps and goes, "This is wrong. I'm not going to do."
But that
this.
could also tie into ethics, though. That,
True.
You know what I mean? So I think a strong argument could be made either way.
But then you know, he wants to run, and you can make the argument that it's, you know, logical that there's no hope, but it still also does feel like an emotional response, and that you know, again,
it's all emotional though.
Well,
just because the characters representative of Logos does not mean they have no emotion. If you go with Harry Potter, Hermione represents Logos, but she still has emotion.
Kind of a big deal with the Resistance.
I don't know. I guess Finn came across as the most emotional to me, but
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know, because I would go with the whole, Rey would be the most emotional because she hides her emotions. So therefore, those who hide their emotions are usually the most emotional.
Were you drinking red Kool-Aid, by the way?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Tropical. Not cherry.
Kool-Aid, though, not
Yeah, Kool-Aid, yeah.
Nice. Good for you. Good for you. I need to get more Kool-Aid in my life. Not now that I can have sugar whenever I want and my mom doesn't yell at me.
Well, the single packets actually don't have any sugar in them.
Yeah.
That's what I use as single.
But you have to add the sugar or no?
No. You just pour it in and shake it up.
Nice. I fucking love Kool-Aid.
They used to have Alka-Seltzer tablets,
Yeah.
the same technology as Alka-Seltzer, and they got rid of those, which I was really fucking pissed
love
off.
Kool-Aid, man.
I do too. Not everyone at this table loves Kool-Aid though.
it's gross.
Yeah.
Number 7. Who is your favorite TV show character? That's a weighted question.
Yeah.
I feel like for you it might be the Doctor, Jules.
I was gonna say Kanan.
I guess so, yeah.
He was the first. He came to my mind immediately and first. So I feel like
mine goes Mal. I think Mal might be my favorite TV character.
Yeah, my 3 off the top of my head are Tina Belcher.
Of course.
Naturally.
Sounds like you, yeah.
Because she and then they're like, oh, but fucking Gina and Louise are also equally awesome characters. So it's really tough. So there's if they them as an amalgamation would be, and then also George Costanza. Fucking love George Costanza as a character. And then Norm from Cheers.
Yeah, I got others too. I do like Jon Snow.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Jon Snow. I'm also a big fan of Tyrion. Tyrion's a good character.
He's a fantastic character.
Yeah. I like Khal Drogo a lot too.
Yeah.
But actually, I don't know if I like Khal Drogo as much as I just like Jason Momoa. So there's that.
I can see that.
That's legit, yeah.
If he wasn't Jason Momoa, I can see that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, he's cool, I guess, but I don't have a super attachment. But well, we're on. Like, I'm a big fan of Jaime Lannister's development as a character.
Not enough to say that he's one of my favorites.
Oh no, I wouldn't. But while we're on the subject,
Yeah, but I mean, if we're gonna go with what Jules was saying, my mind, I immediately thought of Mal whenever I read the question. So I guess that would probably be my answer closer. Yeah. Malcolm Reynolds
I
of
can
Firefly.
see that. Oh, so did I tell you that Summer Glau tweeted at me?
No.
I didn't tell you that?
No.
Oh man, I was so excited. I thought I told you that. So it was Thanksgiving, and we were at Ashley's aunt's house, and her grandma was watching her programs on the Hallmark Channel, and it was some like kind of really terrible Christmas movie, and Summer Glau was in it, and I was like, oh, and then so I tweeted, I was like, watching this, romantic Christmas movie on Hallmark, watching Summer Glau in this Christmas movie, and I just keep waiting for her to just, go beast mode on, and start killing some Reavers. And then, like, she liked it, and then tweeted at me, like, spoilers. I'm like, oh, you're amazing.
Nice.
Can we, like, hang out? Like, can we grab coffee and you can tell me how awesome you think I am?
I feel like she's a handful.
How you can tell me how you love me in Firefly? Wait, that was you. Never mind.
I feel like she's a handful. Like, not in a bad way. I just feel like she probably has a lot of energy. Yeah. And she just would be one of those people that, like, bouncing off the wall.
I feel like the hardest part about hanging out with her is, like, not telling her how awesome she is all the time. Like I'd be like, oh, you were so fucking, like, oh.
That was an episode of Big Bang.
I know. I get, like, in that, like, I've seen that episode, and, like, I feel like when I saw it, I was like, that totally, like, I felt that way before I saw the episode.
Yeah.
But I was like, that totally makes sense. You know what I mean?
She played herself.
Yeah. Like, oh, that's fucking, oh, man.
It did upset me that they didn't talk about Firefly enough on that episode, because they were talking more about Sarah Connor, Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Well, I know Sheldon wasn't there, but Sheldon's, like, a huge fire, because they bring that up all the time, that, like, the biggest slight that's ever happened to him was Firefly being canceled.
Yeah. Well, he said he put his he was mad at Leonard because he wouldn't take him to Switzerland, and he's like you're on my list of 3. It's you, somebody else, and whoever was the CEO of Fox.
And cancel Firefly.
Yeah.
What about you, Jules?
I answered this.
You did?
Yeah.
We've been talking for a while, so I forgot.
Kanan
Oh, right.
Jarrus.
Kanan, yeah. What about Sabine?
I do love Sabine. I love the Ghost Crew, goddammit. I love all
Everyone
of
but
them.
Ezra. Just say it. It's okay if you don't love Ezra. Ezra's annoying.
My problematic son can go sit in the corner, but I still love him.
So
He is my problematic son.
So you would say that there are people who are better than Ezra?
God damn it, Justin.
I don't get the reference.
The band.
90s band.
Oh.
Better than Ezra.
God damn it, Justin.
Yes, because he's kind of an annoying character.
And then that also just goes into how much I love the found family trope that is everything forever. That's
I wouldn't
the
really
only
call it
thing that matters.
I don't think it's really a trope. I would feel like it's more like a device than a trope. It's not really overused.
I mean, I see it a lot. And this is the farthest thing in the world from a complaint. But I do see it, like, and I think ever since I realized, too, that, like, that's my biggest weakness, I've noticed more and more that's like, oh, of course I like this thing. It involves found family.
Also Charlie Kelly.
Me?
My addition to best characters on TV from It's Always Sunny. I love him. Love Charlie.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, last question, number 8. What is your favorite theme song?
Go, go, Power Rangers.
I got one better. Life is like a hurricane.
That was the first fucking thing that popped into
in
my head, just because that's been
Duckburg.
in my head since that thing was released.
Have you seen the new cast for the cast for the new
I saw that David
DuckTales?
Tennant is.
The casting is amazing.
Ben Schwartz, Danny Pudi, David Tennant, one of the chicks from Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the cast, with the exception of one person who plays Mrs. Beakley, the rest of the cast are all SNL alum.
Nice. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Let's see. I don't know. The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt theme.
Oh, that's also very catchy.
Females are strong as hell. That one. The X-Files theme is a classic.
Take my love, take
goes
my
without saying.
land,
That's
take me where I cannot stand.
That's not a theme song. That's the Ballad of Serenity. That they just happen to play before the episode of Firefly starts.
to the definition of a theme song.
No, it's not a theme song. It's its own thing.
Mine is, I mean, of course I'm going to say this, but honestly, I love the Dragon Age 2 theme. Like,
It's not a TV show.
Did it say TV show?
No, I'm sorry. I got the two confused.
Okay.
I meshed them in my head.
I thought it said TV show. Okay, so favorite theme.
No, it was because
Yeah.
the one before it said TV
Yeah.
character, so I meshed the two lines together in my
Yeah.
head, and then once,
Like, I know that sounds just like something, of course I would say that, but like, it's even my favorite song on that soundtrack. Like, I just really love that theme.
See, I immediately thought of
things.
TV, so...
any theme that John Williams did.
Yeah.
Like,
By
more
the way-
specifically, Hook and Harry Potter.
Have you seen the soundtrack for Rogue One? Because I forget the name of the guy who did the music, because it wasn't John Williams.
Yeah, John Williams contributed because they used some of his themes.
Yeah, but like, I can't remember the guy's name, but like, apparently it's just like his thing to like do scores and give the songs really fucking weird names.
Really?
Yeah, so just look up the soundtrack to Rogue One. It's gold.
That's awesome.
Here's
They're all
one for you.
puns.
Here's one for Forward 2.
Yeah, I was really confused why that hadn't come up yet.
That's another one that goes without saying. Like, also, I thought we were talking about TV, but then I said
I did
anything
too.
John Williams.
Yeah, at first I did, because immediately I thought of DuckTales, just because I've been watching the
Yeah.
cast announcement video.
The Tailspin theme song.
Tailspin's good, too. So is
The Goof Troop.
Chippendales.
The Goof Troop. Yeah, Chippendale Rescue. Yeah, the Goof Troop.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck is another good one. Do you remember Tattoo Teenage Alien Fighters
Nope.
from Beverly Hills?
No, I do not.
No.
I remember it existing, but I
Yeah.
never watched it.
Oh, also the Cowboy Bebop intro music and the Cowboy Bebop theme song. Tank and the Real Folk Blues.
Also a big fan of Back to the Future.
Absolutely.
Dun, 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 dun.
My dog doesn't really like that song. Found that out.
Well, your dog's dumb.
He's not dumb. He's just an asshole. Like, I love him. I love him, but he's such an asshole sometimes. He doesn't mean to be. It just happens. But yeah. You know what I love is whenever, like, I listen to a lot of like the John Williams Pandora Station, and obviously that song comes on all the time. Whenever I'm like, if I'm in a hurry and I have to get somewhere and I have to try to avoid traffic and like weave in and out of traffic, and that song comes on, I'm like on a mission, and it's pretty cool. Like anytime I'm driving with a purpose, and that theme comes on. Also, the theme from is it Howard Shore? I think. Don't quote me. Howard Shore's theme from Pearl Harbor. Not a great flick, but the theme is actually pretty sweet. Just like Alan Silvestri's for Forrest Gump. The theme for Forrest Gump is really good.
Fight Club.
Fight Club.
I'm surprised you haven't said Doctor Who.
Yeah, that's also Requiem for a Dream.
Oh my god. I can't believe I forgot about that.
Right? Fucking Kronos Quartet.
Yeah. Oh my god. Or Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, Devotchka.
Yeah.
Yes.
So.
Well, there you go. I think it answers it quick. I'm cutting it off because we've been going for a while and it's late.
and that could go even longer.
Yeah, exactly. And both Jules and I need to eat, and I assume you probably need to eat.
And apparently we
yeah.
also need to show you the DuckTales thing.
I always need to eat.
So that wraps up December. This is the last Q&A episode of 2016, everybody.
Almost anything in 2016 is pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Good fucking credits. Aren't you done yet?
So,
Megan Mullally?
I don't know.
Mullally?
Go punch yourself in the dick, 2016.
It wasn't a good year. It's true. But we can talk all about that in the first episode of 2017, which will be the 2016 wrap-up. So, I already have an in memoriam section that we're going to do for everyone.
That's going to last the entire episode.
No, I'm not doing everyone. I'm just doing the big ones. The big ones for us collectively. So
I've also Nick suggested that on my Redbubble I make a shirt that says I survived 2016, and I have now officially determined I actually have to just draw it now because I know what the design is going to be, because I didn't want it to just be letters.
Yeah, and all I got was this crappy t-shirt.
No, it's going to be a big gold star that says I survived 2016, and then under that in very, very tiny letters it's going to say in parentheses, but it should have been Bowie.
Yeah. Or, you know what, that's amazing. You know what you should do? Make the star like a good job star, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
that's what I
say,
meant, yeah.
A shirt that says, my 2016 participation award.
I think I survived is a little more,
apt. Yeah. Well, there you go, everyone. There's another thrilling. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that because I said that for insert movie reference. I'm not gonna combine the two. We're gonna keep them separate. We got to keep them separated. Hey, there's other podcasts on the network. Don't forget. Most importantly, we have to thank our Patreon supporter, Mr. Nick Geiger. Thank you.
Hi, we love you.
Big ups to Nick Geiger. You're just you're a goddamn rock star.
I forgot I'm sorry, Nick. It took so long. Every single time I would remember right before we start recording, and then I remember right after we finish recording. So this is the section. I think we'll devote it every month. Will be the Q&A episode. We'll have all the Patreon thank yous. I feel like that's a good place to put it.
He knows we love it.
Yeah. So thank you, Mr. Nick Geiger, for your contributing to our Patreon and putting us one step closer to not having to pay for this. So, but don't forget there's other podcasts on the network. Mondays, Pavinus' Warm Gun. Tuesdays, Toxic Volume. Wednesdays, Scenario Store News. Thursdays, the Insert Movie Reference Here podcast, which if you haven't listened to it, yesterday's episode, if you've seen Rogue One, we're doing a spoiler-filled talk about Rogue One. So if you wanna listen to that, you are more than welcome to check out episode 145. I don't know what the name. I think I'm gonna call it Rogue Fun.
Of course you are.
Yeah. So episode 145 of the Insert Movie Reference Here podcast. And then the very podcast that you're listening to, Sinister DreamCast, every Friday and every third Saturday on the Scenario Store news feed is Black Emporium news. So, for the Dragon Ages.
I'm also super excited because I think Kirsten saw Rogue One today, so next week we're actually going to get to talk about it on the Scenario Store.
So, on that note, I am Nick Kizina. You can follow me on Instagram because I'm way more active. And also, if you follow me on Twitter, you're just going to get my Instagram at this point. Follow me on Instagram at Sinister Dreamist with no E in Sinister.
I'm Justin Papalardo. Catch me on the tweets and the Snapchats and probably Instagram soon to come at Keys to Pappiness. Keys the number 2, Pappiness like happiness but with a P.
I'm Julianna Hawk, becauseanders.tumblr.com.
May the Force be with you. See you next week.
Thank you, and may the Force be with you.
You have been listening to the Sinister DreamCast Network. For more from Sinister Dream Productions, check out www.sinisterdream.com.